All right, well, Democratic Alliance Leader John Steenhuisen will in a short while launch his campaign for federal leader of the DA. For more, we now cross to our reporter, Abra Babie, who is there. A very good afternoon to you, Abra. I mean, the race for the federal leader of the DA has become rather interesting now with Balin Duli joining the race. How much support really does Steenhuisen enjoy within the DA, and really a preview of what we can expect today?
Hello, a very good afternoon to you as well. We are at the Hellenic Hall here in Cape Town. It's not a very, very big hall and it's not quite full just yet, but there are people trickling in quite fast. The event is supposed to start at 2 o'clock. At this stage, I can't tell you exactly what ticket he's going to ride on. I can't tell you exactly what he's going to be selling to the DA supporters here today. Of course, that information I will be able to bring to you later on. But what is interesting is last week we heard Balin Duli talking about her lived experience as a black South African woman and how that will appeal to so many black South Africans and possibly attract them to vote for her in the elections in May. What John has to offer, we will find out later on. Of course, we know John is quite well known within the party. He's well known from KZN as well as here in Parliament because he was the former chief whip of the DA in Parliament. He's also now the current interim leader of the party. He's a fairly well-known face. Prior to SONA, he's been crisscrossing the country, going around, just trying to get the ear of South Africans, trying to find out from them, what it is that they want. He also delivered an alternative to the SONA, I think it was the day before SONA, where he mapped out what his vision of SONA should be. So obviously he's been drumming up quite a bit of support lately. He's been going around making sure people know who he is, making sure they know his face, making sure that they know what he wants for the party. Exactly what his ticket is going to be today, I'm quite interested to hear that myself. We also would like to know from him if he will be willing to answer who it is who will be funding his campaign, because that of course is something that lots of people are interested in. So right now he is up against Balin Duli as well as the Gauteng provincial leader John Moody. But we will of course bring you more on what exactly transpires from this launch later on today. Flo?
All right, well, Abra, it does seem that there is a bit of, divided DA with, since the return of Helen Ziller at the helm. Is that the sense that you're getting there at the Hellenic Hall as you stand there? I mean, it does seem as though there are people who would be pro John Steenhuisen, who perhaps seem to be on the right of things, and that would be and those, of course, who are more liberal, I suppose, if we can put it that way, who would, of course, be looking more at Balin Duli as the leader. Do you get that kind of a sense that there is some kind of a divided DA? I mean, this is what we have been hearing, and especially if we look at, the poor performance of the DA in the national elections. What sense are you getting as you are there at this time?
Floyd, you know what? In my experience covering politics, covering DA politics, the DA doesn't like talking about divisions within the party, and whenever you put those questions to them, they always throw to issues within the ANC. And what analysts have told us over the years, of course, is that as a party grows in numbers, yes, of course, there will be divisions, there will be issues, and the DA mostly has tried to sweep those under the cover. They're not very forthcoming with that kind of information, but of course, for us as citizens, as viewers, as readers, there are clear divides. That goes without saying. I mean, I don't even have to tell you that. I mean, look at what happened just towards the end of last year with Musi Maimane and Athol Trollop. I mean, we know there are clear divides. Today, there are quite a few MPs. I've seen the former FedEx leader here today. There are quite a few MPs from Parliament who are clearly here to show John their support, and I'm positive that this is going to be creating a divide within the caucus, not only in Parliament but within the party countrywide. So yes, these are all issues that we're going to have to unpack with the party in the lead up to its election.
All right, well, one would say that the race is really between Mbali Ntuli and John Steenhuisen, but perhaps if you can tell us a bit about John Moody and what his prospects really are at this time. I think people are sort of focused on the two sort of, I suppose, bigger names, but he could be the dark horse, couldn't he?
Look, in politics, anything can happen. That's just the bottom line. Anything can happen. We don't know what the outcome is going to be. So yes, it's going to be a waiting game. It's going to be a matter of just waiting and seeing how things pan out. I mean, just last week we had one possible candidate, Bonginkosi Madikizela, who we also thought was going to be in the running. We saw him dropping out of the race. So going up to March, to May, anything really can happen. But I think it's going to be a race between John and Mbali, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I see that a lot of the leadership of the DA is, sort of holding their cards to their chest at the moment. Has there been someone who's, perhaps been maybe open or sort of looking to be sort of open about who they are supporting in this race? I mean, I know that a lot of questions were asked to Phumzile van Dam on the red carpet, and one of our SABC reporters was asking the questions at the red carpet to the SONA address, State of the Nation address, whether she would be obviously supporting Mbali Ntuli, and one would think because it's a black female, she would be supporting a black female, and she said, no, I have not made my decision. I'd like to see what all candidates have to offer. But as you cover the DA, have you picked up on anyone in the leadership, the main sort of leadership, who's been quite open about who they will be supporting, or is everyone sort of not really distancing themselves from being sort of open at this time?
Look, James South is here. Dean McPherson is here. There are quite a few other MPs from Parliament who are here today. Whether that means that they are supporting him or if they are just here to see what he has to sell, I don't know. I can't tell you whether they were at Mbali's launch last week. I suspect the fact that they are here is indicative of the fact that they are going to be supporting John Steenhuisen.
Right, Abra, let's catch up with you later on. Of course, the event is set to start at 2 p.m. Many thanks to you, our reporter there in Cape Town at the Hellenic Hall. That's Abra Barbie. We'll, of course, catch up with her and get you more information about John Steenhuisen's, what he has to offer those who he's asking to vote for him as the federal leader of the DA. And, of course, we do know that at this time he is in the acting position, and one would think, of course, he might be ahead in terms of what the DA decides at the end of the day, given that he was given that seat in a temporary situation. But let's see how it all plays out in the end. We'll, of course, give you more details from 2 p.m. when the event is then set to start.